500 subscribers. Oh, hey, that's pretty cool. So, I know it's very cliche to say, to the point where it's even cliche to say that it's cliche, but I was not expecting to make a video like this. At the very least, I wasn't expecting to make it so soon. I might have had, made something when I reached, 200, because I was under 200 just a few months ago. Then a certain video came out, which I don't want to address or get into too much because I don't want it to be the thing that I talk about for the next few months or whatever. But because of the success that it has seen, it has inadvertently caused a ripple effect in which a lot of other stuff has been getting a lot more views, and also I've been receiving a surge in subscriber numbers. To put in perspective, how insane this is, just before the video went live, I was sitting at 165 subs. I have since more than doubled, exponentially more than doubled, and to express the rate at which how sudden this is, I've been on this platform for over 10 years now. Or at least this channel has been on this platform for over 10 years. And I was celebrating reaching 100 back in 2020. More than 4 years ago. To say that reaching this number randomly, sporadically, out of nowhere was surprising would be such a gross understatement of where my mind is at with all of this. It's kind of insane. I almost feel kind of bad having almost 2 videos back to back just bragging about oh, look what I did. But I genuinely am just in shock and just don't really know what am I just supposed to be oh, yo, thanks for the no, this is fucking crazy. And I want to acknowledge it because it's such a big freaking milestone. Now that I've reached 500 subs, that actually puts my channel into a position in which I'm capable of activating monetization, and I can actually earn money off of this stuff. This is a huge deal. There's going to be a lot of issues behind the scenes of whether or not I can accomplish that for reasons that I don't want to make public at this moment. But if I can, that would be cool. And money is nice. Who would complain about that? What's especially kind of surreal about it is just the timing of it, because I don't really pay attention to all of the numbers on my channel all of the time. I'm not so obsessed with it, unless I just came out with a new video, then yeah, I'll have my ear to the ground and whatever. But I checked my email at one point, noticed that I got something, it says 18 hours ago from YouTube saying, hey, congrats on 500 subs. And I'm like, huh? What? Excuse me? It was definitely a crazy thing to have happened, because if the timing lines up right, I should have received that milestone. I should have passed that milestone right at the tail end of my birthday. I'm not exaggerating. I'm not joking. This is that is real. This happened on I saw the email on the 29th, and it should have happened either right at the beginning of the day or right at the end of the night prior. I didn't line it up exactly, but you see what I mean when I say this is all a little too surreal? This feels too much out of a fairy tale. It's interesting too, because I'm now 29, and last year I turned 28, my birthday's on the 28th, and I'm okay, if I'm gonna do something in this year, it better be freaking cool. I think this constitutes as that. I think having accomplished this is a really cool, impactful thing. For pretty much the entire time I've been on YouTube, I've always kind of acted like people watch, and it didn't really feel like anyone was outside of my friends that I just kind of coerced into watching it. But this is the first time that I genuinely feel like I've found an audience for myself. Rather than just like some people that look at my channel and go, hey, yo, that guy made a video about fossil fighters. I like fossil fighters. Like, no, it feels like I found like some people who genuinely like the kind of stuff I do specifically. And it feels very nice. It feels very encouraging. So thank you to everyone who has very recently subscribed. Very much appreciate it. As far as content to expect, I kind of touched on it a bit in the previous video, but I do plan on making more Kawas. The subjects that I have in mind at the moment, as I've mentioned, are the character Hot Sauce from Watch Dogs. I think his real name was Josh, yeah. And Symmetra from Overwatch. Those are actually canonically autistic characters, and it definitely lends to a different type of analysis, where instead of like head-canoning and justifying and then trying to figure out this and that, it's instead what they do with the character. You know, it's a little different than what I'm used to doing, but it also means I'll have to do research on characters I know nothing about. So there's that as well. By all means, if you are familiar with either of those franchises, like lore-wise, I suppose, then like definitely hit me up. Let me know you're interested in helping out. I would very much appreciate it. There was a game that I started playing recently called Bug Fables: The Everlasting Sapling, and I'm looking at the character of V, and I'm like, oh my god, this is the most neurodivergent thing I've ever seen in all of fiction. Like, so that has definitely caught my attention there. So when I'm finished with that game, definitely look forward to something on her, because that could be very interesting of a deep dive. Like, I got through the first 2 chapters, so I still have a long ways to go, so don't expect it anytime soon. Expect it sometime like next year or something. We'll see. Either way, I definitely look forward to talking about her, because she's a very fun character, and I can see it being a very entertaining video as well. As far as other content is concerned, with my Odd series, I've been discussing a lot of my opinions on like every variant of Pokemon, every single Pokemon like design specifically. Eventually I'll get to Gen 3. I've been trying to space them out because I don't want to like overload that stuff. I have been thinking about uploading the individual songs from my audio collage album. I don't know if anyone would want the songs individually uploaded. So if you are interested in that, let me know. Otherwise, like if I have like no time on a month, I might just do that. We'll see. The only other stuff I have in mind is just like, okay, there are 2 different things I have in mind. So like, one is like, I've been enjoying making these videos talking about Yu-Gi-Oh, where I analyze like certain cards, and I know like my audience here is not as privy to it, but there does seem to be a little bit of attention given to it, and I like making them, so I might delve into them if I really feel like it. One archetype that I really want to talk about is the Fabled archetype, because they probably have my favorite art direction out of any series of cards in the game. They are just so colorful and fun looking. And they have some really powerful effects, especially since most of them are not once per turn. But, man, the only reason anyone cares about them nowadays is because of Fiendsmith. But I'm going to save that for the actual video. So yeah, if I do make another video on Yu-Gi-Oh, you can expect it to be on that. I can't promise when that will be. But that's been on my mind ever since, like, even the Earth Machine video. And the only other thing that I have on my mind of what I would want to make is a continuation of the quote-unquote Let's Play of the Fossil Fighters game. Those 2 videos are so freaking old that I have even considered just like straight up starting from scratch again. I'm not going to do that because it's like still so early into the game that it doesn't really matter all that much, but I have been thinking for a very long time, what could I do to continue it? Because I felt like the way I was doing it was not good. I do want the focus to be more about like me and my reaction to the game rather than the game itself, but I feel like without showcasing the gameplay itself, it could be a little boring. So I feel like that kind of content would like pretty much culminate in background noise while I do something else kind of content. You know what I mean? So I have two ways of going about it. The first option is that I could transition it into live stream content. I could attempt to do some live streaming here on YouTube, and I would just chill and hang out with chat while I play the game. The second option that I could do that I have that I think would probably be the way I'm gonna go about it, but no guarantees. I might just like record myself playing it and then just edit it down to like bare essentials and then just like narrate over it in a separate take and just like condense the content so it's not as bloated or boring as like the prior videos. Hopefully that would turn out to be something better. I've been seeing a lot of people make content like I don't know how else to describe it other than just like modern Zoomer content. I struggle to say that because I don't see it as brain dead as that. Like for example, I've seen people talk about like shiny hunting or Nuzlocke or like difficult runs where they'll show footage of them going through it, but then like have a separate take later on narrating what is happening and then cutting back to it in real time, so on and so forth. It makes for a very flowing experience, in my opinion. I feel like that would be the best way to go about it if I were not to just like outright live stream it. Even then, if I do live stream it, I could easily just like do that anyway and just edit down the streams. It would just be like a fun excuse while I'm recording, I guess. Yeah, I know a lot of you came here because of Splatoon and stuff, but like I actually got my first surge of popularity because I was complaining about Fossil Fighters. So if you are interested in me like looking back at that original game, then like definitely like let me know like which form, like would you want me to live stream it or not, and that might determine how I go about like filming it. There is one more like bigger project I have going on behind the scenes that I've been working on for the past like 2 years, give or take. It's a collaboration with me and a friend of mine. I won't say what it is, but it is looking like the video might be 2 hours long, and there's been a lot of effort being put into making it, but also a lot of procrastination because of how big it is. So look forward to that in the next like half a decade, maybe. We'll see. Either way, that's really all that I have that I can talk about in terms of like what I plan on making. Yeah, look forward to that, I guess. Thank you again for helping me reach 500 subs. A bit of a big deal, not gonna lie. It's pretty cool. I guess here's to 1,000, I guess. We'll see. You know what they say, like that's ever gonna happen. What a load of... Yeah, that's it. Thanks. Bye.